Jotsky looking for that damage, finds him on the Diablo. Diablo forced it back out as their health drops low. The Immortal now is at 25%
Back down,
here.
yo, on the Grey Man, give me the first ball. But is it ETC? No, that's Malthael up there. A triple.
The line used in the back, catching 3 people on top of that, followed up by the APOC and the lurking on, catching 2, but this time on is going to be the first one.
Wow, did you see that mosh pit? 4-man mosh pit while on a conveyor belt. That was like a regular sushi.
There's the lead, catches him in the mud pit. Time trap does pop. Mosh pit goes out. Fuji's still in trouble. Pops to stay a while and listen, but it's not going to matter.
Here comes the Boros on the backside. The Visual gets under and then stunned. Oh my goodness! The combo!
Getting shrunk down, ETC getting killed. He becomes dog food for the Grey Man.
I didn't think they had a chance. I thought it was all over. We said all or nothing, and they got absolutely everything.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. Tonight, we've got a matchup for you between some of the top teams in Division A East. I'm Arrow. I'm going to be your caster tonight, flying solo with the exception of my four-legged companions. And let's get right into who we've got going into this. We've got BeefBois and Sky5, and they're right at the top. Sky5 22, tied with Xanthite. I believe Sky5 has the tiebreaker in that. And then BeefBois right behind him, 21 points. Whichever team wins this match gets first place. And whoever loses might actually have to play against my team. Regen Phoenix there. We'll see how that turns out. We'll be 6 or 7, so we'll be one of these playing against one of these teams or Xanthite, whereas you know, whoever takes this gets that first place. But let's take a quick look at our map bans. What do we got here tonight? We're gonna get the bans coming out from BeefBois here, and this is gonna screw me up. The blue team, like, in my mind, should be Sky5 just because of the color of their logo. But the blue team here, BeefBois, they banned out Alterac Pass and Garden of Terror. Sky5, the red team, they banned out Braxis Holdout and Tomb of the Spider Queen. My first map is gonna be my favorite, Towers of Doom. And here we go. Draft is all ready to go. These guys are set. And you know what? Listen, I'm excited about this because I get to cast a match between two Div A teams. My team's in Div A. You know, we've played against both of these teams. And there's been some craziness that have come out of these teams. Sky5 is a team that's been in Div A for, and they may have even been in Heroic. So they've been in kind of at that top A, low Heroic for several seasons. BeefBois, if I remember correctly, they were in Div B maybe last season or 2 seasons ago. No, we played against them last season, so I think it was a couple seasons ago. And you know, they've definitely upped their game. They've got a couple of additions to the roster, if I remember correctly. So we're going to start off with Chromie Tychus out from the BeefBois. We're going to get rid of Hanzo and another ban here in just a moment. Again, good evening, everybody. It's so good to see all of you. We got Traxix out there, Fujin. I already shouted out the Fujin there. Exy in the game, also in chat. We got Idioms in chat, and then Sonya. There you go. So Hanzo and Sonya gonna come out from Sky5 here, and Sonya's a really strong hero. No Falstad ban. Seen a lot of Falstad bans just in general. But I think, at least in Nexus Gaming Series, he's less of a broken hero, because he can't just keep somebody slowed for 3 hours with his trait, or his lightning rod. But we're gonna get a Mei right at the beginning. Mei, a very strong tank in the meta at this point. can provide some zone defense as well as some significant disruption with her ultimates. On the other side, we're going to get Stukov and Li Ming. I believe that we played against a very similar comp, at least the way that this is starting, and our Mei player was not happy. He got absolutely deleted by the combination of what we're seeing here. So gonna get a Cassia and a Hogger coming out as well, so that extra unstoppable. Now 2 heroes with that unstoppable if you you account for that Mei cryo freeze that she brings. And then Cassia does have the blind so far. No auto attack really focused heroes on the side of Sky5, but that doesn't mean they're not coming. Alan by default has the Stukov. All right, there goes the Brightwing van. Brightwing, another hero that is very strong, has the ability to get around this map. And there goes the ETC. ETC was critical to what we actually lost to in this comp, giving them the opportunity to lock down a hero for an extra couple of seconds there. So we'll see if they choose to go into something that allows for that stun, whether it's the Anubarak stun, whether it's the Varian stun. Blaze does some pretty decent stuns as well, so that's a pretty hefty frontliner there, very beefy. And then you've got Zool, so Liddell, they're going to be able to do a lot of double soaking, certainly more so than Hogger. But Hogger also has pretty good mobility. He's not going to get caught by roots, things like that. Overall, I think that slightly favors the Zool, but if the BeefBois are able to cover rotations, and with a Lucio rotating in to help get a quick kill onto that Zool, could provide a huge amount of benefit. Then, of course, we have Sylvanas. Sylvanas able to shut down those towers, allow them to push extra hard. Not a great amount of push on the side of BeefBois, but they don't necessarily need too much on Towers of Doom. That said, Apple Mike coming into the Tracer, and I think I've mentioned a couple of times about Apple Mike's Tracer, but I don't think it's actually been played when I've said it. But there it is. It's coming out tonight, and Apple Mike is a pretty strong Tracer from what I recall. I just haven't seen it in a while, so we'll have to see how practiced this looks tonight. Thank you very much, Track6, for the 69 bits. Really appreciate you being here. And that's it. Those are our comps. Let's make sure nobody switched around on me. Let's see it. Yeah, looks good over there. And looks good over there. All right, well, let's get into our game. Can we see awesome triple stealth comps? Well, who knows? Maybe. Love the Sylv, hate the Hogger versus Will matchup. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty then, let's get our teams introduced. We started over into the red side. We'll start with the red side. We've got, for Sky5, Liddell going to be playing the Zool, Alan by default on the Stukov, Furl on Li Ming, Apple Mike on the Tracer, and we got Silver on the Blaze. And over here to the left, it's BeefBois. We got Root Beer Guy playing the Lucio, Smork Killer on the Sylvanas, Albatox going to be on the Cassia, Tribulation there on the Hogger, and Sexy Exy on Mei. Hey, Lid, buddy. Good to see you. So I think it's important to recognize here, BeefBois started off the season, if I remember correctly, a little bit slower. And I don't recall if that's because they didn't play as many games as some of the other teams. Maybe they had a bye in there or something. Or, if they lost a round or two. But ultimately, they started off kind of in the middle of the pack area, if I remember correctly. And they're at the top now. They're quite literally a point away from being at the very top of this division. So 1 point is all that separates these two teams. This is for first place. and potentially second or third place, depending on how it all breaks down. So we'll see how this goes. But checking out these talents here. Got some new habits, giving Blaze that unstoppable once he gets enough of those regeneration globes. We got reactive ballista spores there for Stukov, so able to throw out those pustules on enemies that are nearby. Gonna be the smooth moves there for Lucio. Getting the additional healing and keeping the wall ride active for an extra second. Cassie going into the Lightning Fury, so getting that additional damage every time she hits a hero with her javelins there. But checking in on the XP here, we'll just kind of put that up for a moment as both of the teams pick up their sapper camps. Blaze going in does get the stun onto Mei. She's going to be silenced here and could be in danger. Doesn't have the cryo freeze anymore thanks to that silence. Applemic gonna finish the job, and Blaze coming in to make sure that Tracer is able to get out safely. And the first blood going over to Sky5. Should give them the opportunity now to clear up those pumpkin sappers, maybe even push their own into the wall here. Without the Mei, kind of a difficult place for BeefBois to step up. 1, 2, 3 will go in, so the tower and wall will drop. And that actually makes it a little bit better here for if Sky5 is ever able to pick up the sapper camp there aggressively. Because those first couple of sappers will always go to that top tower if it's on the aggressive side. So now that that's gone, they can be a little bit more focused on where they should go, whether that's tower, whether that's the fort. So checking in on that XP, as mentioned, Zool a little bit ahead. 3,900 to 3,100 on the Hogger there. But more importantly, as we see right here, some of these skeletons making it through to the wall. So a little bit of wall damage in the mid there. Very, very similar in in the top. Very similar in the mid. And at level 4 here, Zool picking up that Cursed Strikes allows him to get that cooldown reduction. Zoning out BeefBois here. Not going to let anybody come in. That's going to be 4 points going over to our Sky5 side here. Applemic having to pull back there. Had that blind and falling a little bit low, but Furl is the one in danger here as Li Ming taking a load of damage, only has 15 health. Does she make it out? Absolutely she does, but Alan by default not going to be so lucky. Meanwhile, up above, Zool versus Hogger, as both of them picked up their own 4 points again. And with the kill there onto Stukov, some massive push coming out from BeefBois, getting that value out of Sylvanas. But it doesn't matter. They get that big stun. Applemic coming down to help get that kill onto Sylvanas. And looking for another one possibly with the resets for Li Ming. But instead just going to poke out that wall. So let's check out how much did they get out of this. The full bottom tower, most of the upper tower there, and most of the wall. So pretty significant value. Really evens them up in that bottom lane as far as the overall structures there. And if you didn't hear it there, right here, Seeker, that's going to be a huge burst potential from Li Ming, especially on an immobile target like that Mei, who, by the way, is in danger. Applemic coming in looking for the kill, gets that one, looking for another one, and just at the last moment with that melee able to take Lucio out, but Tracer falls as well. Camp invade successful though, as Hogger coming down, bouncing all over the place, but just could not keep on that point. As, you know, it's hard to have control when you're bouncing, you're just going all hog wild like that. Over to the right, Sky5 gonna pick up their own sapper camp, sending that out as Li Ming's heading back to base to pick up some mana here. And let's zoom out and watch as the second altars of the game coming up, with both teams rotating in. Tracer's gonna start channeling hers, Lucio on the other side. And it looks like for the most part, teams are just trying to zone each other out, make sure that nobody can really do anything dangerous. But speaking of dangerous, Li Ming now far forward onto the enemy's half of map. We see the calls coming in. Probably not gonna be able to find that Li Ming. Has the wall on the other side to help there. And now back to the 4v4. Zool continuing to provide pressure up in that upper and mid lane there. Hogger doing absolutely as much as they possibly can. Tribulation really trying to just keep in there. But we're getting the rotation down. Blaze coming in with the stun does miss that. Albotox, however, gets the pulse bomb and having to pull back. And Zool was coming down thinking maybe with these level 10s that they could make something happen here, but instead the team called him off, said, you know what, let's just keep going, keep getting that XP, and we'll push what we can right now. Silver in a little bit of danger, has the bunker to drop, so we'll be able to make it out. And that is going to be all the pressure that they can provide. Level 10's now available here for BeefBois. And having the high 5 is probably going to be pretty important here, as with Blaze having that jet propulsion stun, Stukov having the potential for a root silence, and ultimately this guy right here being able to put out a bone prison, rooting somebody in place. A lot of different ways that your Li Ming can just pop a target for 2,500, 3,000 damage in absolutely no time. So having that high 5 allows them to get out. Oh, but there you go, a big mind control onto the Blaze, and that was dang near instantaneous. And the juke of the arcane orb there. Ice Wall's coming out. It's going to separate Alan by default. He's not going to be able to get up here, as Zool coming out, trying to use those skeletal mages to keep the rest of the enemy team slowed. And Alan by default coming in with the Flailing Swipe. Liddell with 9 health is not going to be able to make it out, and Root Beer guy gets the kill but gets caught by Furl. With that missile barrage there, Apple Mike in danger here as the core taking shots, evening up this game 28-28. Holy yikes! What a shot! I gotta tell you, Furl right here on this Li Ming, you gotta watch out. Those shots don't miss. And if ever there was a Zach Galifianakis meme calculation thing, that was it. Finding that Lucio here. Icewall coming in with the stun coming from Mei. Bunker dropped. Gonna be all right. Furl throwing out the big damage from the Li Ming as well. Probably helped to contribute to zone out the rest of the enemy team and make sure that the what was that? Tracer and Blaze were able to make it out safely there. Blaze, or rather Zool, doing work here, getting all of this damage onto this wall again with that Curse Strikes at 4, 7, and now at 13 has the additional attack speed. So this becomes even more of a problem for Hogger to come into. And you can see here, right up in the top, he's able to clear the siege camp very quickly. That means, once again, Hogger having to stay up to defend that. All right, double altars here, mid-bot. No towers have gone down yet. However, if this pressure continues, with that level 13 especially, allowing Zool to keep moving these lanes forward and causing the structure damage from those skeletons, it could turn right against BeefBois here. Zool cleaving in the lane to get that haste up. Mei coming out with the ice wall is going to connect onto 2, but Li Ming's going to get the kill onto Cassia. They're looking for Sexy Exy as well. Cryo Freeze coming out just in time, though. Tracer zoning out Hogger, not a phrase that I thought I'd ever hear. But there's Liddell gonna channel down there in the bot lane. Stukov working on the mid as well. So we're gonna get 8 more shots, bringing the total count here now to 20-28. Structure damage coming in favor of Sky5 as they continue to pressure between Zool and what the rest of the team is doing in the bot lane. Zool doing the thing that you do with Zool, basically just create pressure everywhere that you possibly can on the map that's not where your team is. And your team focuses on everything else there. Just barely missing that stun from Tribulation, but the silence coming down, and Hogger cannot get out with that unstoppable if he's silenced. So a quick kill there onto the Hogger. Zool going to be able to pick up even more pressure now. as the rest of Sky5 is going to head into the bot lane. And now BeefBois have to make a choice. Do they potentially want to lose their bottom fort here, or send somebody to try to catch that soak against the Zool? Not an easy choice to make when you're down about a level, but losing that bottom fort is critical. Silver having to zip away there, using that jet propulsion as Allen by default, with the knockback, using the flailing swipe as a disengage tool to make sure that the rest of the team able to make it out safely. And level 16 is coming up. That's the next talent tier here for Sky5, and this is a big value play here. Icewall is going to come out with the Pulse Bomb coming out onto Mei. Ultimately, no damage on either side. And this is where it gets hairy. With 16 talent advantage in an even fight here, really BeefBois have to be careful about what they consider. And it looks like they're not even going to consider going into stall out the Li Ming down below. Hogger is going to be able to make it there. Was just trying to catch as much XP as possible to get that 16 coming in soon here. $12 to $24, and of course Towers of Doom, the comeback map, more so than any other map. As long as you've got health on your core, you can continue to provide pressure here and ultimately flip games very quickly. I think in order to do that, though, we almost have to see a kill onto that Zool. Slow things down. Slow this pressure down. Hogger's going to be able to pick up the siege camp, though, in the top lane. So that's going to be helpful. That's not something you want to go in the other direction. There comes the ice wall. Not going to connect, though. And they did see here Apple Mike up in the middle. So Sexy Exy going in, saying, hey, let's try to find somebody here. There's a stun onto the Blaze. But no follow-up as yet. Both teams looking for that next tier here with the 20. Mei coming in, does get the knockback. Mind control coming out onto Stukov, and that's going to be it. And that's really what BeefBois has been able to do. They've been able to find these couple of picks and then get value. The question is there enough time for them to get value out of the altar, or can they get any pressure anywhere else? Building up a wave here, working on this bottom fort. Stukov 25 seconds away. Hogger having to pull back there as the rest of the team coming up. Sky5 says, you know what, we're going to let that go, and we're going to take the boss. That's going to be 4 shots going over to Sky5. Pretty much for sure. Tribulation over here kind of playing goalkeeper. But losing that bottom tower is a step in the right direction in favor of BeefBois. Sky5, that's a tough one to lose. It can be a tough one to get back. And of course, there are 6 potential points going in the bottom lane every minute and a half or 2 minutes or so. Speaking of those points, there they are, 2.5 minutes. There you go. There they are. Siege Camp coming up right now. And BeefBois gonna come up and protect this. They want to keep this pushed forward to allow for the siege minions to try to get through. $8 to $19. So this is really where the pressure's on for BeefBois. They've got to start making plays happen here. And they did catch up in XP. They're right there now. Getting those extra kills, taking out that tower. That was a big boost for them. Towers of Doom, the only place you can get the fort and keep XP. Siege minions will all die before they make it across the death zone, though, so no additional points. That said, Li Ming able to knock out that keep from pretty far away. But only so much zoning that Silver can do here. We see Tracer following after Hogger. And it looks like the rotation coming in, gonna try to pick up this siege camp again on the other side. That said, they've left this wide open, so Urell able to get that tower down to about half health in that short period of time. 2 altars coming up, so best case scenario right now, BeefBois can get 10 points out of this, 6 for Sky5. And you see Sky5 rotating around. This is really their only way to attack this. They do catch the Mei there. And now the Ice Wall's going to come out with the stall. Big stun by Blaze here. The silence coming out as well. Mind control onto Blaze. Probably not enough to prevent the bunker. There it is. As a couple points make it through, but Tracer's going to be the first to fall as Ball Lightning continuing to just go through the team. And it's a double kill, but one in the other direction here. Furl getting a big heal by Alan Default. And that's now 2 for 1 so far. But do not count out. Oh, never mind. Go ahead and count them out. They're pulling out. I was going to say, don't count out Furl. That damage for that Li Ming. One reset, and you see some people dead. Speaking of that damage, did get that big hit onto Albatox. They nearly had Alan by default. In the sub-20 category, how many times this game have we seen heroes under 20 health? I think 2 of them have been right there on that Stukov. So 5 points going over to BeefBois, bringing this a little bit closer. And if they can get this quickly before Li Ming finishes, it'll be 5 more, putting them in the lead. It's going to be 4 more. But either way, still putting them in the lead since, for the first time since the very beginning of the game. I think they got 2, if I remember right. No, never mind. No, they didn't. They evened it out. That was the best they've had. It was 28 to 28, I think, at one point, or 32 to 32. But BeefBois taking the lead, 8 to 7. Both teams at 20. Let me show you those. Sorry, I didn't pull those up earlier. And this is where now we should have another altar phase coming up, showing up soon, and that's exactly what I was hoping to see. This right here, 4, maybe 5 points. It's a minute and a half until the boss. This is enough. This next altar could be the end of the game. So this is going to be a huge fight. Zool hasn't really been able to open up those top forts, the top or mid fort, with his skeletons. So this is about as even as it's possibly going to get. Yeah, exactly, Guy Dude. They had, what, 5, 4, so the 9, and then I guess 12? There's Blaze getting the stun, got knocked back though, but it doesn't matter. Sexy Exy getting absolutely deleted. Ball Lightning going for days on the red side. Sky5, but Hogger gonna fall as he was underneath the towers there. Was that a no control? I'm guessing that was a no control. And all of a sudden now, that fight that I mentioned earlier is down 2 heroes. 15 seconds until the boss. So this is almost certainly going to be Sky5 looking to get this altar, maybe even take down the bottom fort. And with that timer on the boss, BeefBois recognizing they got to do this, because their heroes will not be back. The real question is, can they do this before Sky5 gets here? And it looks like the answer to that question is no. Root coming out on a Sylvanas, the Unstoppable there. Smart Killer gonna fall, but so is Liddell. So 1 for 1 so far. Apple Mike working on the Cassia is gonna get her pretty low. And Protected coming out, gonna get the kill onto the Stukov, but the reset's coming in for Li Ming as they get the Cassia and they get the Lucio. The boss, however, also got the game. Game number 1 going over to Sky5, and what an absolute just brawl at the end of this game, finishing up as you would expect for a Towers of Doom. Holy smokes. And I don't think there was much else to be done there. I think that was absolutely the only call that could be made, was to go get that boss and try to defend that. Because otherwise I think Sky5 has enough damage that they can burn that down pretty quickly. But what a game, what a way to start this set. Show you the talents there as well. And then we're going to go back and take a look at what the standings look like, because now that gives another point there to Sky5. So we'll see what that does overall here. Sky5 now with 23 points. So that secures them first place in the division. Okay, let me see which winner was red team 8. And our next game is actually going to be Volskaya Foundry. It looks like the BeefBois selecting that one. All right, so let's open up and take a look and see what the tiebreaker looks like between Xanthite and BeefBois. Because now that means if it's Xanthite, well, yeah, let's just see what we've got. So Xanthite and BeefBois, let's take a look here. That's got to be recent, right? All right, so BeefBois actually has a 2-0 victory over Xanthite. So if BeefBois can get 1 point here, then that puts them in second place. They don't need 2, they just need 1. Oh, did I do that wrong? Hold on, let me take a look. Yeah, you're right. My bad. I even said that earlier in the stream because, you know, I did the math at the beginning of the stream. So, okay, yes. So 1 point gives BeefBois second place. 2 points gives them first place and bumps everybody else down 1. My apologies. You're right. Silly streamer. Can't do math. Could do math. Changed math, apparently. Let's see. Tara's doing that. Goes over to the right team. I don't know the rules. Oh, I see. They're I guess they're talking about somebody else's stream. Oh, there was apparently a random person in the lobby. I have no idea what that was about. Okay, that makes more sense. That's what I get for not reading chat. Let's see. Yeah, got it. Math is hard. It's okay. I'm usually actually not bad at math. I'm generally pretty decent at it, but you know, when you're doing a whole bunch of things at the same time. One time I did math on stream, I decided to never try to do math again on stream again. Yeah, absolutely. It's it probably wouldn't be as big of a deal if I was like just focusing entirely on that. If there weren't other things, you know, taking place, then, you know, it's not something that really catches up. That's okay. It's all good. All right, looks like it's going to be just a moment for one of our teams. So as I mentioned, we are going to be going to Volskaya Foundry. This was the selection of our left team, BeefBois. They want to take a map. They want to go someplace that they're comfortable. Presumably, maybe they've got a special strategy here. Maybe they don't. Right? Maybe they're cool with whatever happens here. They definitely know they're in the top 3. And right now, it's still anybody's place. Nobody knows what position they're in, first, second, or third in these top three slots of the division. At least not for a few minutes. About a half an hour, we'll have a better idea of where we're at, if not complete idea. And there are still a couple of matches left to be played this weekend, I believe. Checking out the Div A schedule. What do we got here? We've got Phoenix Rising Diamond and Baby on Board is being played on Monday, apparently, at 9 o'clock Eastern. So checking out the calendar for that. Let's see. Who's casting that? That's going to be... Oh, go figure. It's actually Sexy Exy casting that. Of course, who is in the current game on BeefBois there. So unfortunately, we won't know most of the or I guess not most, half of the playoffs won't know who they're playing against until that match is complete, as that does decide at the very least the 6th and 7th positions. You know, let's look at those standings again. Let's see. So Baby on Board if they got a 2-0 victory, would tie them with Boogans. Let's see if they hold the tiebreaker on that. Because if they do, then that really makes it. They do hold the tiebreaker, of course. So that means that everything from 4th through 7th is affected by that. Really, actually, there's nobody that knows their position basically until Monday night. Or not their position. There's nobody that knows their opponent until Monday night. That figures. That's gonna... Well, you know what? At least there's that extra week of time for the playoffs, for that first week, right? That 2-week period that begins on Monday for playoffs. So really glad that has been added in, because that would be absolute chaos if everybody was trying to, 7 teams are trying to figure out who they're playing. I guess 6 teams. Can't be 7. Has to be 6. Figure out who they're playing after the playoffs have already started. Boxcar Racer, thank you very much for the follow. And I think... oh, no, you weren't. Sneaky Glades also followed. Sneaky Glades, you were follower number 650. I don't normally keep track of those things. I just happened to look. And so there you are. And it sounds like we're ready to go, so I can stop making stuff up to talk about. Track 6, thanks for the follow. You're 652. 652 on that. And 52 was in the chat earlier. I don't think he's here now, though. Just gonna take a quick peek. Nah, 52's gone. That's too bad. All right, Volsky Industries getting into the game here. You know what, Track 6? I don't know either, but I'm glad that you're following now. And for what it's worth, I'm not saying I'm going to, but there are some things that I might be doing soon that are not strictly HOTS related, aside from gaming even. So we'll see if that works out. But yeah, we may see some other exciting stuff. Lid, thank you very much for the Prime. You're my Prime boy. My Prime boy. Appreciate that. Look at a prize. You know what? You get a shout out. Shout out Sneaky Glades. Thank you so much for the follow. I don't have prizes here. I could do casts, maybe. Hanzo going to be the first ban, continuing the trend from our last game. Good evening, Shui. Welcome. That's my good friend Shui there. Shui is a mod because why not? I think Track 6, do you stream? I can't remember. Chromie going to be banned out as well, so sticking with those heroes that we started with last round. Again, not a huge surprise there, especially the Chromie, right? Chromie is pretty oppressive here. You know, there's sand, it's coarse, it gets everywhere. You just don't want to deal with that here in Volskaya Foundry when you're trying to run around these control points, get yourselves a protector. You know, getting sand in the protector just won't come out. You do. Let me do this thing. I have a thing. There we go. Do we not have a delay? There's a delay, right? There's a delay. Yeah, there's a delay. All right, Stukov going to be banned out. That's a deviation. We had the Tychus banned out last game, so Stukov, I'm not surprised to see that at all. Stukov here on Volskaya Foundry especially, able to do a lot of work, provide that zoning silence. Also has knockback abilities in the flailing swipe or massive shove, but it's going to be Cassia going first here over to Sky5. Do people play Azmodan in this league? Not really in this division. I don't think I've seen Azmodan in this division, but it's certainly not unheard of. It might have happened in West. Then we're going to have Tassadar and Uther. It looks like that's presumably going to be an Uther main tank. Now, Frill on the Cassia, so may not be a Li Ming game, but could be. Silver going to get the ETC that was banned out last game, and then of course Anduin coming in as well, giving them the light bomb opportunity there along with that power slide. Have I seen PRX versus Sky5? I did not. There you go. There you go. So it has happened. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that it has seen play. I think Azmodan has a place. It's just not one that most teams look for. But that also means that because most teams aren't looking for it, they don't tend to play against it. So perfect. Thanks, Sneaky. Right wing gonna be manned out, and the Li Ming. So basically, you know, BeefBois said, hey, we're not gonna take the potential Li Ming on this. We don't want you to have that. Let's just get rid of it. Right wing as well gonna be banned out. And just as it would have been pretty rough to have that Bright Wing played into Tracer, probably don't want that into the Cassia or even the ETC. Next picks, Tribulation coming in with the Imperious Smart Killer on the Rainer. So giving them a couple of ways that they can interrupt a mosh pit. A little bit harder for Imperious, but they do have Rainer to be able to hit that penetrating round. Let's see, we've got Uther, we got Tassadar. Okay, I do have everybody. All right. Coming up, the 4th and 5th picks here for Sky5, and it's gonna be Azmodan. It's coming. There you go. Nailed it. Not me. Chat did. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't do the channel point thing. I'll do the channel point thing in a moment here. Let me pull up that page so I can pull that up. Last pick coming for the BeefBois. Let's see. We want prediction. We want who wins game number 2. We'll do 2 minutes, should be fine. And we're gonna get a Mei here, so gonna get that swap, instead moving Uther over to the healer, and gonna be Mei for that front line. So make sure nobody else changed. That looks good. So it's double frontline here out of the... Well, when I say frontline, I mean some beef. They got some beef on the side of Sky5. Guy dude, what did I tell you? Absolutely. Absolutely. So there you go. And you know, the real question is whether Mei was always the pick or whether it was a last minute change based on the draft. There you go. All right, well, here we go. Game number 2 between BeefBois and Sky5. Starting on our left here, looking to even up the series and start their trek from 3rd place to 1st place. We've got the BeefBois. We got Sexy Exy playing the Mei, Smart Killer on the Rainer, Root Beer Guy on the Uther, Tribulation playing Imperious, and let's see, who's the other one? Albatox there on Tassadar. And over to the right, Sky5 looking to close out the set in a 2-0. We've got Apple Mike playing the Azmodan, Liddell on Johanna. Silver going to be on that ETC. We've got Alan by default on the Anduin. And Furl there, going to be playing the Cassia. So the real question is, who's your offlaner if you're Sky5? Is it ETC? Is it Johanna? Or is it Cassia? I'm assuming it's either ETC or Johanna, and given the Azmodan, I'm assuming that it's ETC. It looks like that may be the case, so we'll see how that build changes out there for the ETC going into that. Was this Hammer? Guitar Hero. Hammer Down's a later talent, I think. So we'll have to keep track of Azmodan's stacks here. So he's going into the additional range on his laser. And it just occurred to me, like, we have two basically garbage wave clear heroes in that bottom lane between ETC and Imperius. Neither one of those heroes can really do a lot, but a big stun coming out from Tribulation with the Force Wall is going to get the leap onto Furl, but Johanna not so lucky. She's going to be the first one to go down. 24 stacks here for Azmodan. A little over 10% toward that first tier. Now, in addition to the laser, right? So here you go. 20% more damage to non-heroic targets, but also All Shall Burn there gets that additional range. And then the attack speed and movement speed on the warriors. So that's a big value for just pushing down a lane if you go that siege grunts and all that. So we'll see if he continues into a build like that, or if this is a little bit more of a focus on the heroes type of build. Meanwhile, down in the bot lane, playing the nature music from Looney Tunes, where nothing's actually happening, but just a little quick scene. Gonna get a slide there from Sexy Exy. The wall actually blocking both of the Mei and Cassia. And by the way, somewhere in there, the biotic emitter was picked up by the red team. They're doing a great job picking up the biotic emitter, doing it so stealthily that even the caster wasn't paying attention. Both teams going to pick up their siege camps in the top. And they'll have a couple of seconds before the control point starts here. But nobody here just yet. Mei's going to rotate down first. Azmodan trying to work on getting as many stacks as possible. It's not easy as Azmodan to get stacks from just killing minions, unless you have a friend. You really need somebody to provide some bonus damage, because your globes just kind of tickle the minions at the beginning of this game. They do a couple hundred damage, and you know, minions have 800 health or something like that. But you see a big burst there, now sitting at 100 stacks. Cassia, though, on the other side of this force wall, with a leap of faith coming in. That's a fairly lengthy cooldown, 90 seconds there for the Anduin. So that's a positive trade there in favor of BeefBois, being able to get that leap all for just a force wall. All right, turret used, providing some additional help to the side of BeefBois. Tribulation coming in, did miss that spear. Overtime procced. Liddell still has the bio emitter, is going to use it. No turret there for Sky5. The ETC is going to get just knocked all over the place and sent back to base. Liddell falling a little bit low on Johanna, having to pull away. Is barely going to be able to make it out, but that's going to give the first protector of the game over to the BeefBois. They were actually able to pick up a second turret there as well, so they had both of those going. And biotic emitter, just not enough. Tassadar, Mei in the protector. They're going to head up to the top lane and start working on getting value up here, setting up for round number 2, control point B. Johanna trying to just zone out the back part of this, keep that Rainer away especially. Got caught by the stun and took a bit of damage from the protector, but able to get healed back up. Protector goes down as Blizzard coming out is going to get the stun onto the Johanna. And that's it. So getting the wall, 1 tower down. And with Azmodan having that Demon Lieutenant, able to provide a little bit of additional pressure. So Silver able to clear out the lane, but then also give a little bit of extra pressure thanks to that Lieutenant. So let's take a look at our Azmodan here, since Azmodan's the big hero of the day. I did get that prediction out there, right? Let's take a look at that. I did, yeah, okay. Just making sure. Turret camp picked up there for Sky5. Biotic emitter camp is available, and I expect we'll see that rotation coming in as level 10s here for BeefBois. That's exactly what they're going to do. That's not what I want. There we go. Still a few moments away for Sky5. They do have some XP on their half of the map, though, so they should be able to pick this up relatively quickly, as Asmodan sitting at 184, so doing pretty good on those stacks, especially given the amount of time that really they had to kind of do that themselves. So there you go. Imperius down in the bot lane trying to soak up, keeping even with ETC. Ah, I didn't even see the Holy Fervor? Holy Fervor? Yeah, Holy Fervor. And charging in the 1v1 in the bot lane. Tribulation has the minions to provide some additional help, but ETC is going to be able to power slide away. No real issues there for him. Cassia in the mid lane. So right now this is a favorable outcome for BeefBois, but Urell getting pretty low here. Mei coming in with the Blizzard, locking down Cassia. Now she's isolated because of the ice wall. Isolated. Oh, a big spear coming out from Tribulation. Isn't enough, though. The rest of the team isn't here. So really, two of your absolutely lowest damage going into somebody with 30 armor. Big stun coming up, but it's not going to land. The mosh pit's going to come out with the light bomb. Cryo freeze coming out, but it's actually the Tribulation there who's in danger. Just kidding. Divine Shield is a thing, and there goes the biotic emitter. Hyperion used there is going to get a little damage onto the structures. But it looks like maybe that's it. Maybe not, though. Apple Mike is kind of by himself here. Had to shut off the laser prematurely just to make sure that he was able to get away. Because one spear from that Imperius and that Asmodan, even as tanky as he is, would not last. Especially with that percent damage. Right here, burn the Impure. 2.5% of the hero's maximum health. That's a lot of damage coming out of that Imperius into a Johanna, ETC, and Asmodan. That's a lot. All right, stun coming out, has the iron skin. There we go. Leap of Faith used once again, practically on cooldown at this point. Seems like they're having to use that to make sure that force walls are not isolating the heroes and securing them kills. Huh. Okay. So Sky5 pulls off with giving Mei the opportunity to channel now, and I'm fairly sure. I thought they had seen them down there, but I guess maybe they were thinking, let's rotate down and see if we can get a kill, because we know somebody's up here on top. But they weren't able to quite get there. Johanna versus the Imperius now in the bot lane. And now with 13s on both sides, it's game time. Apple Mike looking to dunk. Scoring a couple of extra points. Some long range 3-point bombs here. Johanna coming in from below. Does get a little bit of damage there. And the channel gonna flip back over to Sky5. Ice Wall's coming back. Light Bomb is going out onto the Asmodan. Nothing there. Silver in the middle of the team, but not able to get a mosh. Liddell is the one in danger, and there's no Leap of Faith there. Never mind, there it is. Silver, however, gets the mosh, but Divine Shield coming out onto Exy, and they're going to be able to get the kill, and that should secure, with Johanna having to go back as well, the protector in theory here for BeefBois. If nothing else, they can get a little pressure into this fort, though. Imperius gonna rotate back down and try to get some XP out of this bot lane. And that Holy Fervor talent I showed earlier, able to help with that wave clear. So clearing that out pretty quickly, and it's on like a 30-second cooldown, I think, right? 25 seconds. So additional damage, also cleaving, gives them some value. Asmodan sitting at 286 stacks. Protector out. Pretty much ignored, and that's going to give Sky5 some quick clear there. Force wall coming out onto Johanna. Maybe a Leap of Faith available at this point. Liddell's going to get the light bomb. Stuns onto 2. Cassia, however, not able to get that Valkyrie out. Urell, however, will go down. Tassadar getting that kill. And a big double stun. It's only able to secure 1 with the Leap of Faith, though. And that's it. So just the Cassia A lot of value coming out here from BeefBois. They're finding that they don't necessarily need to get a lot of kills. They just need to get one here and there, and they can convert that into punishers, protectors rather, and structures. That's the first fort of this game to go down. And Volskaya is a game that can tend to go pretty long. Certainly almost always going to get to level 20. So the longer this goes, the more value having these structures down early is. You get more catapults to provide lane pressure, the more opportunities for you to find a split target as somebody's trying to soak. It looks like just that wall down. 3 seconds left on the protector. And that's it. Shield going out there at the end to just, again, provide a little defensive measure for BeefBois. Now they are up quite a bit of XP here. Almost 2 full levels. Certainly the talent tier as well. And we've got Imperius and Tassadar coming from that mid lane, looking at this bottom lane. And this one right here, this right here, Thermal Lance, 8%. That's on top of all of the additional shock ray damage that Tassadar is doing. Icewall's going to come out onto the Cassia. You see them pinging for the Cassia. The Blizzard is going to miss there as Leap of Faith coming out. Force Wall, Hyperion both used, but that's going to give at least some damage on this fort over to BeefBois. Probably not enough to take it down all the way, but definitely get some damage on it. Set it up certainly for Control Point C, which is coming up soon. And with no healing well here, that makes it a lot more difficult for Sky5. That said, Johanna coming down, Light Bomb coming out, looking for the Tassadar, but he's on a conveyor belt, so just fine. We got Silver, though, on the Rainer with that mosh pit. Nice icing from the Mei, able to interrupt the mosh pit. And that's it. Sky5 not able to convert any kills out of that engage, as they get level 16s here as well. And this is where the game's now on a little bit more even footing. Azmodan with the all-shell burn talents has those siege grunts as well. So at this point, in theory, I mean, Applemic could go take out a fort. The problem is that leaves you with just a Cassia for damage. And with, oh my goodness, is the Leap of Faith available? I don't know. I didn't think it was, but it is. ETC very far forward is going to get stunned by Uther. Valkyrie's coming out. They get the Uther. He's got Divine Shield though, so that's fine. Light Bomb coming out looking for Rainer, but the team is pretty well split, so they can't find any targets. Johanna's going to get caught by the spear, hit by that penetrating round as well. That's all she wrote. Neither team, once again, able to secure a kill. And this is a really tough setup. You've got very strong defensive heroes on the side of Sky5 between armor and high health targets, but fairly low damage going into heroes that could do pretty decent, consistent damage. Not quite as beefy, though. It's a very balanced comp versus comp. And what we're not seeing is we're not seeing the siege value out of the Azmodan yet. Icewall's coming out onto ETC. The stun was landed on Cassia. Here comes Cryophes and a big bomb there from the Azmodan. ETC gets knocked back into the biotic emitter. Might be enough to save him even, but not quite. Rainer gonna finish the job. Exy, however, gonna get caught by Cassia. Blizzard coming out, so Smart Killer might be able to take Furl out, and that is what's gonna happen with Tassadar getting that last bit of damage. Tribulation coming in, looking for Johanna. Minus 25 armor there as well. Force Wall's gonna come out, and that's gonna secure another kill. And that might be the first time this game either team has gotten multiple kills. In fact, that's the first kill that Sky5 has been able to secure, and that was out onto the Mei. 3 kills to 1 in favor of BeefBois. And with level 20s, they're going to start on this bottom control point, get this channel going. They also have themselves a turret coming up. They've got a siege camp that they can throw out there. And there's really not much that Sky5 can do until they get a little bit more XP on the table. Unless they find them in an uneven fight here. And this could be a pretty pretty decently okay fight. If ETC is able to get a Mosh, they've got Cassia nearby, they've got Asmodan. It looks like that's not going to happen. Cassie wasn't quite there quickly enough coming out of the graveyard. Now this is maybe this is where Asmodan comes in and is able to get this fort in kind of a trade for the Protector. Has the grunts as well. There they go. With Johanna up here, I don't think Johanna needs to be here. I think that Asmodan can do this just fine by himself. Does get the fort, but that also opens up bottom keep for BeefBois. They've got a Protector coming in right now. And I'm not sure that was a valuable trade. It gives them a little bit of that catapult pressure, but I think that Johanna needed to be down here to help defend. Protector coming in. 20's still 3/4 of a way for Sky5. Blizzard coming out onto Allen by default. He's going to have to zone out of that. ETC is going to get stunned. Protector is going to be able to take out the keep. Furl very far into the enemy team. It looks like he's able to make it out. Half a level to go for those level 20s. Tassadar and Imperius are both in the Protector here. Raynor does not have Hyperion, so this is... They're doing what they can with the Protector to try to take the game. Silver's going to fall to the Protector. And now Johanna getting pretty low as the core falling. 73% so far. Johanna's going to go down as well. Cassie's going to get a pull out onto the Raynor, but a cleanse coming out as well. And this core falling very quickly. It's looking like game number 2 going to go over to the BeefBois. Oh, I still have Lulu on the game screen. I should go fix that. Sorry, Lulu. You're not here. Not tonight. 9 kills to 1. Not a high kill game. Not a high kill count there. Just the damage from Sky5 couldn't quite convert into kills. But they were beefy enough that BeefBois couldn't necessarily just get kills on them. So it was a really quality game. I mean, I gotta say, Allen by default was doing work with those leap of faiths, and I mean, there was like 7, 8, 9 of those things. It was all the freaking time. But that does give us a game number 3. It also means that BeefBois now definitely gonna be at least 2nd place, with Xanthite going down to 3rd. And now the question remains: this game sets who's gonna be in 1st. All right, that being said, I'm going to grab myself a quick drink. Going to give us a 2-minute break, and we'll be right back.
You know, I've been in more scrapes and adventures than I can count. That being said, I've never seen anything like this.
Hail, hero!
Is that a frog in a bubble? Oh gosh, they are so cute. Well then, there's so many friendly people here. Coming through. Love the hair.
Oh, the cavalry's here!
This place is awesome! I found some Vikings! Wow, you're big! The name's Tracer, and the Nexus could always use more heroes. Ah! Not funny!
much for us to settle.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks so much for being here and, sticking around. We had a brief pause there as one of the teams needed to do a quick bathroom break. I needed a quick beverage myself, so I certainly wasn't complaining about that. Well, let's take a quick look at those standings again, shall we? I know I keep harping on this, but this is really a critical game. This now determines which of these teams will be first place. If BeefBois wins, they take the set 2-1. That means they have the tiebreaker and puts them ahead of Sky5. If Sky5 wins, well, they have 24 points. And BeefBois sits at second because they have the tiebreaker over Phoenix Rising Xanthite. So that's where we're at right now. This game determines who's in first place. So it's an exciting time to be in the Nexus right now. But you know what? Maps-wise, we've got our third map, and it's going to be Battlefield of Eternity. This map was selected by the BeefBois. And so far this set, the map pick has won every game. Oh, speaking of which, I gotta do the predictions. Choose outcome. Well, it's a good thing that BeefBois won, because 100% of the channel points were in favor of BeefBois. So there you go. Just letting him know that I'm ready. I always tell him. But, just got to make sure that they know that that's what we're doing here, that we're ready to go. As a reminder, playoffs start officially on Monday. They go for 2 weeks for that first round. But as I mentioned earlier, pretty much places 2 through 7 have no idea who they're going to be playing until Monday at 9. Or I guess after 9. The match is at 9. And we'll be watching that one over at Sexy Exy. Traxix says, okay, boys, one more. Random people just joining lobbies. Who knows? Who knows? Quite the fun times here in our game as we keep getting random people just entering in. Looks like our game is ready to go. Maybe? Did we push the button? We pushed the button. There we go. All right, game number 3, Battlefield of Eternity. This is a map where oftentimes, if Volskaya Foundry goes long, Battlefield of Eternity oftentimes doesn't necessarily. So we may not see level 20 talents in this game. It kind of depends on the group makeup, whether we see, strong race heroes, what have you. So 100% Nova win rate. That's something to be proud of. Absolutely. All right, Battlefield of Eternity. Our first ban gonna be on Hanzo. You know what? I'm gonna actually put the thing up now. We'll do 5 minutes on this one. Do I not have one that's done game 3 in a while? Apparently not. There we go. All right, you got 5 minutes for your votes. We've already seen Chromie and the Hanzo. This is nothing new to us. And, I mean, if anything, Hanzo's even better on this map. We've seen Sonya banned out twice by Sky5. We'll see if they ban it out again. Keeping with tradition. All right, and our last ban for BOE for BeefBois in the first round here. Then I left the team unsupervised for 15 minutes. While you were, I have to ask, Hydra, was this while you were playing as Medan, and then for 15 minutes they just did other things and lost the game for you? Is that what happened, or did they play a game and lose? But it's going to be Stukov there, and that's kind of what I expected, right? They banned it out last game. Game one, you know, that Stukov did a lot of work for them. I'm a little surprised, maybe to a certain degree, that we don't see anything about the Mei, but maybe that's why right there, because going into Li Ming helps them to pretty much say, don't do it. I mean, Li Ming just pops off, especially with that Seeker that we showcased earlier. Even with the spell armor, it takes a lot of damage from a Li Ming set of missiles. Channel points currently in favor of BeefBois. Cassia, Uther going to be the pick this time. Cassia for Albatox. Oh, gotcha. So Cassia and Uther. So we're gonna see presumably some kind of hero to lock down BeefBois. So is this where they maybe look at that ETC or a Varian? There's the ETC, and they're gonna bring the white main. Silver gonna be on the ETC once again. Final ban coming out from BeefBois. What's it gonna be? What do they not want to see? Game number one was Li Ming Tracer. Do they get rid of that Li Ming Tracer again? Or not again. Do they get rid of the Tracer just in general? They're gonna get rid of the Tychus. They'd rather make sure that that percent damage doesn't make it straight through all of the Uther armor that's provided. And here's it. This is it. Last ban from Sky5. Is it going to be Brightwing again? Could be Brightwing. Could go that Uther main tank. It's actually going to be Diablo. Diablo, first time banned this evening. All right, what do we got? So Raynor has been here. We had the Sylvanas earlier. Sylvanas could be interesting into this. All right, we're switching it up with the tanks, going instead to the Garrosh instead of the Mei, and bringing back the Raynor. So that's going to be it. That's going to be our DPS line for BeefBois, the Raynor and Cassia. Samuro coming in along with the Tracer. Apparently I can't spell these names. Tracer, wait, Samuro. Okay, got it. And I feel like I've seen a very similar comp from Sky5 previously on this map. I can't remember if it had the Tracer or not. I'm pretty sure that I saw the Samuro Li Ming. And that's a lot of damage too. Tribulation's gonna go into the Urell. So Urell gives them a pretty heavy front line between Garrosh and Urell. Some good defensive utility. Some knockbacks, some stuns. A decent amount of stuns. They're all kind of short stuns in general. But we'll see how that turns out. Did we finish our channel prediction? We did. Yeah, Durka, they need somebody to pressure Li Ming, was too good in game one. And I think that also might be part of the reason that they picked the Urell. You know, even with the amount of damage that Urell does, which is not high by any means until you start getting those talents later on, about 16 or so, you're still going to see Urell in the backline causing disruption. So we'll see how that turns out. Game number 3, everybody. This is it. First place coming out of this. Let's start with the BeefBois on the left, coming off a hot win on Volsky Foundry. Sexy Exy going to be playing the Garrosh. Albatox on the Cassia. Smart Killer on the Rainer. Root Beer Guy on the Uther. And Tribulation on Urell. And over here to the right, we got Sky5. It's going to be Furl on Li Ming. Apple Mike on Tracer. Allen by default there on the White Main. Silver on ETC. And Liddell on the Samuro. And I feel like in general, and it's just because I know a little bit more history with the Sky5 team, I feel like in general, these are heroes that Sky5 is very comfortable on. So I'm really interested to see how this turns out, because this is like, hey, if I could get my best hero, that's pretty much what we're seeing here out of Sky5. Whereas if Sexy Exy can get a good throw here, somebody's gonna die. I mean, between even though they're shorter stuns, a throw into the Groundbreaker stun from Garrosh, along with the Hammer of Justice out of Uther, maybe a little Divine Storm action. I mean, somebody's dying with that. So we'll see how that goes. Body check the pick there for Garrosh, so gonna be able to slow and also reduce the healing. Gonna be helpful into that White Main. 8 stacks already there for Cassia. Or Silver, rather, getting caught by that stun, as mentioned, but able to get enough healing out of that White Main to survive. And up in the top lane, Urell versus Samuro. Now, this is an interesting matchup. I haven't ever seen a Urell versus a Samuro. I have to imagine that probably phases Samuro. There's the throw out onto ETC. A big power slide, though, getting the stun onto Garrosh. And once again, ETC able to escape death. ETC doesn't have quite the same health pool necessarily that a lot of other tanks have. For that matter, neither does Garrosh. Both of them kind of on the lower end because they get that armor value. With Exterminator, Rainer's able to pull that down really quickly, so we're already going to see the camp going over to the side of BeefBois. And as mentioned here, we've got Samuro versus Urell, and it seems like overall it might be relatively even. Samuro, of course, having that critical strikes reduces armor, and that figures that happens now when I'm looking up top. But anyways, ETC's dead. Things happened. And level 4s are here for BeefBois. First Immortal coming up. And with that kill out onto ETC, there's really nothing that Sky5 can do into that Garrosh. Li Ming certainly doesn't want to go into it. White Main doesn't. Tracer's getting the camps to allow Samuro to continue getting soak here. And she has to be a little bit careful, doesn't want to take too much damage. Gets a little bit of the leech out of her attacks, but not enough to sustain against the Shaman camp, just yet. But level 6 to level 4, so BeefBois currently ahead in that XP race. Urell able to get a little bit of extra value in the top lane, and now starting on the race. Race already about half. Big stun going out onto the ETC. Not enough just yet, but it's big damage into the front line in the back there. Sexy Exy with 42 armor now, having to pull back as Li Ming starting to get that damage. Those resets on the Arcane Orb thanks to that level 4. And at least for right now, we're going to see Sky5 looking to defend. Up above is Cassia versus Tracer. But Rainer's going to try to get them level 7 here. And why not? I mean, they've got the advantage. They've already picked up halftime on the side of BeefBois. And that leaves Samuro now to try to come back and get this race started for Sky5. ETC is going to get that slide onto Urell. Tribulation fairly low. Was able to use that Vindication to get a little bit of healing. Tracer trying to stick onto Urell. Getting her low and pushing her back. Really pushing all of the team back as Samuro came in as well. Avatox coming, looking from below there. As 7's coming soon for BeefBois. Garrosh is going to get stunned, double stunned into the Immortal there. Has to use the Indomitable to get away. Liddell was looking for the Urell, but not going to chase it off. But ultimately 7-6 now. This is where it gets better for BeefBois. Xy's going to go ahead and get that Hearth healed back up. Because there's a long time before Sky5 gets to 7, and they're not soaking that lane. They don't really feel they can without potentially losing this Immortal. It's already at about 10% health. Samuro's going to get that race and do as much as possible. Garrosh is going to throw ETC over the wall. However, Urell's here. They get that quick burn onto Tracer, make it a double kill as Whitemane also going to fall. And they get the Immortal. This is going up into the top lane. It's got a little bit of damage up here already. Bot lane, the stronger lane, of course, for BeefBois. They got that full wall down earlier with both towers. And again, with Rainer up here, they're just going to start shredding this down. They get that sidewall down so that Xy can look for maybe that throw into the team. Speaking of that throw, ETC is going to get thrown in, but not able to secure the big stuns they needed to get the damage out. And with this Immortal being pretty healthy, it's very possible this whole fort's going to go down. Tracer now has the Pulse Bomb. And there it goes. About a third of the health left on the Immortal, so probably not a lot left for BeefBois to do. Just get that XP, maybe look for a pick. But at this point, with most of that minion wave down, they're done. Sky5 says this is really our best chance. We have all 5 of our players here. Let's get the kill while we can. ETC's going to get thrown back into his team, but that's it. We're coming up on level 10s now here soon for BeefBois, and this is what I was saying earlier on Battlefield of Eternity. This can tend to favor teams that have an early advantage, and right now, that early advantage is in favor of BeefBois. The question is, what happens at level 10? Can Sky5 pick up enough tools out of that level 10, whether it's the Mosh Pit, getting the Wave of Force to keep that Garrosh away, maybe the ultimates coming out from the Whitemane. The level 10's now here. We already see BeefBois trying to set up for a bush gank here. We'll see if Sky5 catches us out. Looks like maybe not. And if ETC had Mosh Pit there, that would have been a really, really good time for it, but just couldn't quite get it. Hyperion's coming out mostly as a zoning tool. That's that. A couple of camps going up into the top lane there. Liddell's going to clear out one of them, leaving the second one here to be dealt with as well. BeefBois going to send out yet another camp. So this is going to go in the bot lane while they're able to start working right here on the objective. Still about 2/3 of a level for Sky5 to get back into this game. But both teams going to just work on their race and get as much into it as possible. Garrosh coming in aggressive, trying to see if he can't slow things down just a little bit, because it looks like Sky5 is slightly ahead in this race, even being down 2 levels. ETC is going to get thrown in, taunted, stunned, Valkyried, and is A-okay. But there's Tribulation in the backline, as mentioned earlier. Being thrown out the orbs, trying to get as much of that burst damage as possible. And it is going to be Urell there pretty low. Knockback coming out onto ETC. Still no 10s. ETC's going to fall just before they get level 10. So no chance for a Mosh. And that opens up the potential here for BeefBois to get their second immortal of this game. And it's fairly healthy. A little bit over half of that shield left to go as they now get level 12 here. So they got that 2-level advantage still. That's no talent tiers, just the percentage damage and health and healing. Garrosh looking, does get knocked back, was looking for somebody, maybe the Samuro, but Samuro was able to pop those clones and really prevent that from happening. And you know what? Great on Silver for catching that timing, getting that stun, knocking him back into the towers, and allowing them to get a kill. That really makes this immortal clear a lot easier for Sky5. They are still going to lose all of their wall and a little bit of keep damage, but having that Garrosh kill means they don't lose their keep. And that was the immortal all by itself, with that full pressure from the Rainer and Cassia and Garrosh and everybody there. That keep almost certainly goes down. But level 13's here for BeefBois, so they're still in a commanding place here. They've got all of their structures up. They're able to pick up that bottom camp, which is going to head into the keep. And it looks like BeefBois may just decide to try to finish this now. There's no Hyperion. Hyperion would do it really well for him. And top camp is going to go over to Sky5. Not going to get a ton of value onto this bottom keep, but they are going to get some of it. Nice stun, or rather unstoppable there to keep the Cassia, I think was alive. Whoever it was that ETC's got the power slide onto. And now Sky5 starting to get a little bit of the structure damage here, getting the full wall. May help to set them up if they're able to get an immortal. Getting that wall down allows for, well, it'll ultimately push the immortal down into the bottom lane, but if they can get the immortal to go into one of these lanes where they don't have a wall, it's going to help to allow them that fort damage. Maybe get some constant catapult pressure. And not constant, occasional, you know, every other wave or so, roughly, potentially. Camp should be cleared up, speaking of catapults, by this catapult up in the top lane. And here we go. ETC gets the stun out onto Cassia. Divine Shield, however, is going to be enough. The knockback pushes the Garrosh out with a big taunt coming in onto 2. Cassia does not get the kill onto Tracer. Looked really sketchy there for a moment, but it's actually Sexy Exy who's having to pull back, the lowest of the BeefBois. And doing so much damage into that Cassia and Garrosh from Sky5 allows them to get into this immortal and trigger the halftime. And this is really the first time they've had halftime in their favor out of any of the immortal phases. Teams split up here. Looks like maybe there's some different concerns there. So half of the team maybe wanted to go looking for kills, half of them wanted to defend on the side of Sky5 specifically. Tracer up in the top lane trying to help keep the Shaman alive, but being up there means that Furl almost caught their Sexy Exy with a big taunt, but it's not going to be enough. Urell tried to use that knockback as well. Righteous Hammer. But no kills secured with that big taunt. Garrosh instead going to be the one to fall. And now it's advantage going over to Sky5, and they want to take as much advantage of that as possible. Keep in mind, they do still have the mosh pit. Just have to be a little careful about doing that under an immortal because of those stuns right there. Knockback onto ETC. Additional stun. We're going to get the Divine Reckoning there from Whitemane. Here comes the mosh. Gets knocked back, though. But they're still looking for Cassia. Tracer looking real hard. Is going to have to recall out there And now the first immortal of the game going over to Sky5. And it's going to be going in this bot lane. Meanwhile, Catapult Pressure getting real close to the bottom keep. And they're going to send back the Samuro to clean that up before this immortal makes its way onto the ground. And we mentioned at the beginning of the game about that Li Ming, and now she's got Glass Cannon, which means those missiles are hurting, those orbs are hurting, that disintegrates hurting. But having Urell jumped onto her face in the backline is going to do a lot of damage. She's just got to be able to get there. The taunt coming out only hit onto the ETC, getting the cleanse as well, so he's able to just go ahead and walk away there. But not as much this time. Got the double stun, but still, once again, able to get that slide out. Immortal sitting about half health as the first fort in favor of Sky5 to go down here in the bottom lane. And Samuro catching him up on the XP, getting him to that 16 talent. But with the Immortal now going down, that's it. Sky5 is going to go ahead and pull back. Tracer's on her own bike. How do I zoom in on that again? Check out that bike. It's a neat looking bike. Even if it doesn't actually touch the ground, what the heck? All right, let's zoom back out. Garrosh coming in with the knockback from ETC, and check that out. One combo out onto the Garrosh, and he's... Whoo! Make it 2 combos, and Garrosh is basically out of this fight. Divine Shield coming out to keep Urell alive, because a combo onto her would have been just reset city. So yeah, turns out a full combo coming from Li Ming onto Garrosh. Puts him at half health. Of course, the second combo not quite taking the other half because of that armor, but it was rather some hefty damage there. And now Sky5 becoming the aggressors in the game. They're picking up camps, keeping the pressure on. They're still behind in structures, though, but not in a significant way. Top lane as catapults coming every once in a while, so Samuro's able to keep that clean. Bot lane now is equal, but they're going to have to deal with the Shaman camp. BeefBois is continuing to look for those isolated picks. They haven't been able to get them out onto that ETC, which they've tried a couple of times here. Actually, they've been trying most of the game to get the kills out onto ETC, and I think they've only gotten it once? Twice. So we'll see how that turns out here as we get into this next fight. Immortal's coming up. And it looks like defensive position for red team as the Rainer gets absolutely destroyed. Tribulation gonna get knocked out of the jump. And as mentioned, around when this game was 2 levels in favor of BeefBois at level 8 to 10, I mentioned, do they start to pick it up in the later game? Are they able to get those talents and start to turn this around in favor of Sky5? And at least these last couple of fights, it's been rough. BeefBois have been getting hit by the big combos out from the Li Ming. Speaking of combos, looking for Garrosh, has the unstoppable. ETC is going to get thrown over the wall there. Tribulation trying to dive into the backline and uses the Ardent Defenders to stay alive. But not for long enough. If Furl can see you, Furl can kill you. That said, up in the top lane, Catapult, Siege Camp, getting a little bit of damage out onto that wall. Another Immortal, though, and this Immortal even more powerful than the last. Not just because of timing, but a little bit more on that shielding. And the XP now even between the two teams. See a little bit of a... Just maybe keeping an eye on things. Ming out of control. No doubt, Durka. And keep in mind, missiles, magic missiles does half damage to structures, but I mean, when you're getting 2,000 damage per shot every few seconds, whatever, right? 5 missiles plus Seeker doing that additional damage as well. making sure that that bush is clear. And look at that again, right over the wall to Cassia, getting halfway on her health bar, having to tap, getting that armor, that 30 armor from her movement there. And once again, Garrosh getting just destroyed here, half health. The taunt missing out onto the Tracer. She's going to go ahead and recall out of there, so that'll be down for another 30 seconds or so. But Heap is coming down quickly. The Immortal sitting at about 60% health still. And ETC's going to get a mosh out onto the Garrosh. Did have the cleanse, but didn't get out of it quickly enough. Has the Divine Shield as well. And it looks like Sky5 may be looking to get out of here. But if they can get another kill, it might be enough. Especially getting that onto the Urell. Immortal getting this core down 63% now. ETC's getting that slide out onto the Garrosh. It's gonna get a bit of a burst in healing there, but it's not enough. The core falling 30%. ETC coming in with that storm shield as well, 10%, and it's going to be Sky5 coming in and clearing out this set 2-1 and taking first place in Division A East. I'll go ahead and update that as well real quick here. Sorry, silver is toxic. All right, gonna go ahead and see if we can get ourselves a interview here, and then I'll put up the channel port thing. All right, let's see. Channel point outcome. All right, there we go. All right, we're going to be joined by Sky5 here in just a moment. It sounds like maybe we're going to get all the team. And you know what? That's fine. It's the last game of the season. All right, so we've got some. Are you all coming?
We're all coming.
All right, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're missing Silver.
Come on, Silver.
We'll get that toxic jerk in here.
No.
There we go. All right. So, hey, listen, congratulations, you guys. I mean, first place, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We're honestly, we just wanted the better seed in the bracket. We really try hard in that game.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys, if any of you out there saw our last series against PRX, but they did some stuff we want never to happen to us again in Heroes of the Storm, and so we're happy we're on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah.
And listen, that makes complete sense. The other thing that means is that you actually know who your opponents are. As I was kind of pointing out in the middle of all that, everybody else from 2 to 7 has no idea who we're playing until Monday at 9 o'clock. So, yeah, you can schedule your match. The rest of us just have to wait. So, there you go. But listen, so you guys started this off. You had a big win there on Towers of Doom. And it was, am I crazy? That is how that went, right? I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was like, wait, there was a moment where it didn't look like that, but then it did. Yeah. You guys got that fight over the bottom lane, which puts you up 2 people. How quickly did you recognize that they were looking for the boss? Or was it just like, hey, we're just going to go get the boss and maybe we'll find, like, what was the comms like at that point?
So, I guess I'll go. Somebody said boss is up soon, and then everyone realized, oh crap, they're probably all there. So we started just bum rushing it.
Gotcha. Right on.
I think it was Silver, right? Silver called that?
Yeah, Silver identified those 20 seconds till boss, so we were like, oh, we cap this and do boss, and that's a win. And then we saw like a couple of their people moving up like north on the map and went, well, they're probably trying to take that away, before we have an opportunity to do that.
For sure. So, like, what was the game like? I understand how the Liddell's role in this performs, which is pretty much to say, okay, guys, I'll see you at the end. But for everybody else, or for the team as a whole, like, it started off balanced, and then you guys took a big lead, and then that kind of started to chip away. So, was there anything that you guys had to focus on, or that you said to the team, or anything like that, to make sure that everybody was still in the right mindset to keep that into a victory?
We gotta blame Alan's dad.
Yep, my dad.
So,
There's a fight bot lane. I was mounted up doing circles because my dad called my name and I had to answer. And well, I got like mind controlled, and I don't know what else happened to me. It was pretty brutal, man. And they got bot 4, bot keep, whatever, and then that kind of turned the tide a little bit. But we came back, so it was all good. But
So
yeah.
of course, Alan playing the Stukov in that game.
Yeah.
I think I remember that. Now, there was an interesting play, and chat kind of called it out a little bit too. If I remember correctly, when you guys lost that bottom fort, there was an altar, I think, bot lane. You guys went and took the boss instead of defending the keep. Was there any specific reason that you did that, or was it just, hey, let's just get the boss just to trade some points?
I made that call because of their pick capabilities with their ults and stuff was just outrageous to deal with. So let's play the safe bet and just go get the boss.
Makes sense.
Also, we did a hesitancy when we saw them going bot. We realized it was a little too late, so we kind of realized we hesitated. We're probably not going to save bot. Let's just commit with the call.
Sure. Yeah, and that's one of those things where it's like, hey, we went for this top lane thing, and now we're losing bot lane on Dragonshire, and well, that sucks, but it's too late to do anything about it now, right? So may as well stick with the original plan. So then you guys get into Volskaya Foundry. It was you guys had first pick, and you went into I'm gonna make this comment again, a very beefy draft, and that's not intended to be a pun. But you had Johanna, you had ETC, you had Asmodan. I think you had Cassia. Is that? Yeah. So armor, if not health. So, but you had difficulty in that game, like converting kills. Was there a different aspect to that strategy that you were kind of hoping that just didn't click, or did they just kind of win that one?
Yeah. So the initial plan was front to back, right?
We need to go reevaluate that replay and figure out what happened, basically.
Yeah, we wanted to do front to back the entire time, but it just wasn't working out. And then we couldn't kill them. They're too beefy, man. They're beefy boys, so it was really hard. It was really hard to kill them. And then by the time we Divine Shield is clutch, man. Yeah, it was just really hard to get through all their beefy characters.
Sure. Well, speaking of Divine Shield, they get into Game 3. You guys have Battlefield of Eternity, and the Divine Shield returns. I have no idea. Maybe you can explain to me how 5, 6, 10, 20, 30... I have no idea how many times ETC gets thrown in and somehow lives. So maybe for all of the rest of us here, was that just Alan by default throwing you over the shoulder and calling it good, or was it just
that's
like
what he does every game? So yes, that's exactly.
Come on.
It was not his dad. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's not my dad. It was me. Yeah, the Clan at 7 really helped a lot. And then the ult I took was kind of a risk because it's not the good ult per se for white main, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah. The other thing to note, especially past 4, is I took the speed boost talent primarily because if they couldn't burst me off the initial throw, I could Q and run away, and I kind of did that every time. And with Alan's heals on top of that, and they're so focused on me that Alan can attack whoever he wants to get those bonus heals.
Right.
It was kind of,
It was
I'm out for
beautiful.
a few seconds. Yeah, they couldn't really kill me.
So this was never brought up in game, but however I survived that one throw with glass cannon, no idea, but thank you, like for my team.
That's probably gonna be one of those like frame by frame replay moments of figuring out exactly what everybody was doing in that moment.
I had no idea how I survived. I didn't even say anything because I was like, all right, and like I just taken glass cannon and get thrown by a garage.
Didn't we say whoever gets thrown by Garrosh is bad?
Yeah, that's exactly what
We said that at the beginning. Other
I
than
bit
EPC.
my tongue. I just didn't say a damn thing. Somehow we turned the fight around.
Well, and really, you know, I think the moment that game really started to turn around in your favor was bottom keep, where the Immortals coming in. You guys don't lose your keep, which is amazing. But the reason you don't lose your keep is because you've got Liddell coming in on the Samuro. Garrosh is like, this is my time to shine. I'm going to get this Samuro. Ends up not getting the Samuro. Ends up getting caught by suddenly ETC. And now they can't push. That seemed to be the moment that the game kind of flipped into your favor. And you just put on the gas and never let it up. But I do want to call out one thing that I think I've cast you guys, I don't know, multiple times anyways. And I think maybe, Apple Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this. I've mentioned your Tracer like every game, and I don't think I've ever actually gotten to cast it until tonight.
Oh,
I'm not positive.
Yeah,
or maybe since the first time, maybe.
Yeah, we don't always pull it out often, you know, but when we do, it's really strong, and I love playing it. She's definitely my favorite hero to play.
Well, it was absolutely just fantastic watching you zip around, especially in the Towers of Doom game. Just zipping around, finding targets, keeping the pressure on the Lucio. There was one point you were zoning out Hogger, and I'm like, what is this noise? Like, what's going on here? Like, Hogger's like this big beefy guy, and this little teeny tiny Tracer's is like, no, stay away. It was fantastic show to watch for sure.
Yeah, it was. I knew it would really help if Liddell could get ahead, and that, you know, with the team bot, you know, they were good enough at playing safe, you know, except for that one time they got caught. But yeah, the rest of the time it was just great to constantly dismount him, keep his health low. And I don't really need to be in the wave, right? You know, I'm actually more in danger of being with the team than I am being by myself in that way.
Sure. I have one last question, and this is for Furl. What kind of magnets do you put into your magic missiles that they land every time, even on a friggin' Lucio that you can't see over the wall?
I just poke and hope. That's all I No, so that Lucio, I knew. I mean, I don't know. I saw him. I'm like, oh, I just gotta throw an orb. The thing's gonna kill him. Like, I don't know. That one was easy. That was probably one of the easier ones because I know the speed of Lucio. I knew exactly where I needed to throw it. But yeah, I just enjoy playing Ming.
Sure.
You know what the worst part is? I think I'm the worst Ming player on the team right now. So
blasphemy.
In Storm League, in Storm
League, I got like a 45% win rate. But
we play her in solo queue, not versus 5-mans.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, fair enough. So I gotta ask, raise your hand if you're like an orb build Li Ming, or if you go the real build like Furl with the Seeker. Anybody?
Somehow none of us go orb build.
None of us go orb, none of us go calamity.
I mean, but Furl taught me, so I didn't really have a choice.
Fair enough. Is there anything more satisfying than hearing the sound of a Seeker set?
Absolutely not.
There's not.
It's more satisfying when they instantly go from 100 to 0 with the Orb Seeker.
I mean, fair. That's true.
16 is one-shot town.
Yeah.
Timing an orb and a missile to hit when Urell's bubble disappears. That was pretty nice.
Yes, that was pretty solid. Yes, absolutely. All right, I'm done asking questions. I'm going to let you guys do your shout-outs, and I'm doing them however you want to do them. Just let me know when you're done.
I'll go first really quick, then head out. Just first, shout out to my dad Love you, Dad. Appreciate ya. Shout out to you, Arrow. Thanks for casting, man. Shout out to BeefBois. Good series. And yeah, thank you.
All right. Alan pretty much covered most of the bases, but
Alan's
shout out
dad.
to our team, Alan's dad again. First season and to get first seeds, kind of cool. And it's been a pretty competitive Div A East season, so that's good. And to know who we're facing in the playoffs, Tricky Gooses. So.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any shout-outs? I
I do.
Okay, go for it.
Shout out to my dad. First time he's watched in 6 years. Now, granted, I've never sent him a link before, and apparently never told him the name of our team. I would just say the guys. But yeah, so shout out to him for watching, and shout out to my other 2 fans who've been joining in. You know, it's nice to have support.
Yeah.
My wife. Shout out to my wife. She watches every game.
So the real question is, did your dad come to your Little League games?
Well, baseball's not a sport, but
oh God.
I would say no. I'm just kidding. He actually did come to my baseball games and football, but yeah, this is my fault. I never mentioned and never sent him a stream, so that's on me.
Fair enough. Anything else?
Thanks again, Aaron.
That covers it.
That's it.
All right, guys.
Thank you, man.
Good job on your match tonight. Congrats, and good luck in the playoffs. You know, I hope we get to play against you, because I know that Mudge is looking for an opportunity to make up for that absolute deletion that Furl delivered when he was playing May. So hopefully we'll meet you there. Good luck.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thanks, later. See ya.
All right, so that is going to be it for us tonight, guys. Sky5 2, BeefBois 1. Let's show you those standings again real quick here. So Sky5 will take the first position, BeefBois second, Xanthite third. Tricky Goose is there at 8th. So those are the teams that know their positions. Everybody else is in flux until Monday at 9 p.m. So make sure you tune into SexyXE. I think it's twitch.tv/SexyXE. If you're out there, you can remind us. But check that out so that we get to see what the rest of the season's going to be for the playoffs. Until that time, let me go ahead and see who we're going to raid. I think I have an idea who we're going to raid, but yeah, we'll send you over to Missy again. Where's the raid button? There it is. All right. I'm going to send you guys over to a friend of mine. Her name is Missy Alcazar. She's a dueling pianist. She used to work for Disney, and she does a lot of crazy stuff. So it's a fun time when you're there. So make sure you give her a follow and check out the Twitch music scene. Thanks everybody for being here for this Division A East final setup, the second to last game of the season, and we'll see you guys all again soon. Have a great night.